Welcome aboard Rocket Ship, the platform with the most relevant content for competitive examinations. As part of our answer writing series on GS papers of Civil Service main examination, we bring to you a question that might appear in GS paper 2. So, here goes the question of today. What is Mekong Ganga cooperation? What significance it has for India, and what are the obstacles in the path of realizing its benefits? In our understanding, the question has two essential parts. In the first part, you have to briefly write about Mekong Ganga cooperation and also its significance as far as India is concerned. And in the second part, you have to you have to explain and the obstacles which stop it from realizing its benefits. So, how you introduce your answer? Again, you can start with a bare definition of MGC, what it is. But what we are doing here, we are going into the historical background of India-Southeast Asia relation. That is the relation between India and other members of the Mekong Ganga cooperation. That is, according to the Holy Bodhivans, which is a Buddhist scripture, a Buddhist book, Tushasp and Bhallik, two merchants who were the first lay disciples of Bhagwan Buddha, had brought the master's message, that is Buddhism, to King Okalap of Dagon in present-day Myanmar. What we are essentially trying to establish that India-Southeast Asia relation goes back long in time. That is almost going back to the 6th century BC, during the time of Bhagwan Buddha himself. So it's a long as well as deep relation. That is what we are actually saying here, that this is to exemplify the eons old cultural contacts between India and the peninsular Southeast Asia, that is members of the Mekong Ganga cooperation. To build on these fraternal ties, that is brotherly ties, the Mekong Ganga cooperation initiative was unveiled at Vientiane Conference 2000 in Laos. So, and the initiative is, as you can see, it is named after Mekong, which is a river flowing through Myanmar and Vietnam, and actually it originates in the Tibetan plateau and flowing through Myanmar, it ultimately debouches in Vietnam in the sea. And the Ganga, obviously, MGC counts as its members Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam and India. So these are the 6 member countries of Mekong Ganga cooperation. The initiative has set the objective of cooperation in the areas of tourism, culture, education, as well as transport and communications. So these are the 4 or 5 broad areas in which MGC has set its sight on to deepen cooperation between among its members. Significance of MGC lies in strengthening cultural diplomacy, facilitating intra-regional trade, connectivity and maintaining a power balance favorable to India. So, what are the potential benefits of MGC, especially regarding India? These are strengthening cultural contacts based on our shared belief in Buddhism, because Buddhism originated in India and these are majority Buddhist countries, and this would ultimately promote religious tourism or pilgrimage. Then it can boost trade integration with ASEAN, because these are members of ASEAN too. These other 5 countries which are members of MGC are actually members of ASEAN 2. Connectivity to Northeast India, which you know is has poor connectivity. It is virtually landlocked. It is an essential fulcrum to India's look east or act east policy. That is, it is almost at the core of India's look east and act east policies. Balancing China, as you can understand, China is trying to increase its influence in the region, and the MGC would provide these countries, the Southeast Asian countries, an alternative to China, because India is a powerful as well as a large economy. Now, taking up these points in detail, India, as the birthplace of Buddhism, enjoys significant goodwill among the members of MGC, each of which is a Buddhist majority country, as we have just discussed. This goodwill can be leveraged to deepen people-to-people contacts. For an example, pilgrimage, or which as some people call it, religious tourism. MGC can provide alternative connectivity to our landlocked northeast region. This would boost inter-regional trade and economy. And what we are not mentioning here, but you can, time and space permitting, that it would also help us bypass the geopolitically vulnerable, geostrategically vulnerable Chicken Neck corridor. So this can help us reduce our geostrategic vulnerability. Now, as except India, other members of MGC are members of ASEAN 2. MGC can help integrate India with ASEAN, which is slated to be a major grouping in the future, major economic grouping in the future. With China's increasing influence, MGC not only gives India a foothold in the region, but also allows Southeast Asian countries an alternative to domineering China. We are not mentioning it here, but for your understanding, there was this example which was in news a few years back, that with China's slowdown, the influx of Chinese tourists in Thailand had decreased, but Indian tourists kept flocking to Thailand. In that way, Thailand was able to offset the decrease in Chinese tourist arrivals with the increased arrivals from India. So, again, its economy was not much harmed. So, again, MGC can help these countries balance China with India. However, MGC faces some hurdles, which is almost always the case when India is concerned. The insurgency in Myanmar after a military coup. You are probably well aware that the Myanmarese military had overthrown the democratically elected government. Since then, there has been a sort of civil war between the military and the opposing groups. And this, you can understand, it has jeopardized MGC. Intra-regional rivalries. For an example, Myanmar accuses Thailand of safe harboring rebels. This makes cooperation among the members very difficult. India has a patchy record in project completion. The specific examples being the India-Myanmar Thailand Trilateral Highway, please underline it, which remains uncompleted. Actually, the IMTT highway has been delayed by almost a decade, and it is probably going to take another 4-5 years to complete. With such delays, the potential of the economic potential of these initiatives cannot be realized. Now the conclusion: building on our cultural ties, MGC can provide improved connectivity, boost regional economies through trade, and it can help maintain power balance. And the need is to deft diplomacy. For an example, India can help mediate between the uh, conflicting powers. For an example, between Thailand and Myanmar, with both of which India maintains good relations. Focus on project implementation, again India's poor record, and patient handling of contingencies. For an example, the insurgency in Myanmar. So, with these initiatives, we can ultimately realize the full potential of MGC, that is Mekong Ganga cooperation. That is how we sum up our answer for today. We meet again for the next lecture in a few days. Till that time, as usual, we wish you all the best. Thank you.